a £120 million package has been announced for the ceramics industry. So how significant do you feel this is for Stoke-on-Trent and the wider ceramics industry?
I think it's a pretty important first step, and let's be really clear, this won't solve all of our problems overnight, but it is a huge help towards dealing with the immediate challenges. So the fund is split into two. One half can be used for companies to invest in new equipment, new technology to make themselves more energy efficient, but we know that takes time. So the other half of the fund is to meet immediate operational costs. So they're talking about energy bills. So it really does help the industry survive, but we will need to do more to thrive, and that's things like the supercharger scheme, that is better help with exports and trade arrangements, that is cracking down on illegal Chinese dumping. But for the city, for the sector, this is incredibly good news, and it's something that I think we should all get behind and try and make the most of.
You described the package as one that will help to stabilise the sector and give it confidence to invest and look forward in the future. And this has taken a lot of campaigning, hasn't it? From local MPs like yourself, Ceramics UK, GMB Union, and no doubt other organisations as well.
Yeah, it's been a real team effort, and it shows the power, I think, of when business, workforce and politicians and unions are able to sing with the same hymn sheet to say, look, actually we are united in what we need, and we are united in our demands for it. That, look, I would have liked this to have been a year earlier. I'd like it to have been 2 years earlier, but we are where we are, and I think stabilising the sector has been a real challenge. And we have lost some big names in the city over the last few years. I remember when Wade went under because of energy bills. That was 4 or 5 years ago. Obviously Royal Stafford has had challenges. Moorcroft has gone, but thankfully come back. Yep. And we've seen what's happened at Denby over in Derbyshire. So I know this won't solve all of our problems. I'm not suggesting to anyone listening that this is job done. But what it does do is it gives us the breathing space to take the next steps with a bit of time and make sure we get it right. And to investors who are looking at the ceramics industry in the UK, to realise the government does understand its importance. It understands the heritage skills. It understands the vibrant future it could have. Yep. And it realises that if you want to make an investment, there is a future that will give you a good return.
To date, the Labour government has been working towards a shift towards cleaner, greener energy, and specifically electricity. And of course, many ceramics firms use gas to power their kilns. So, with the operational side of this support package, do we know if that will be able to help ceramics firms with things like their gas energy consumption?
So that's definitely what I'm hoping for. The great thing about this package is the government have announced the commitment of the money. They've then said to Ceramics UK, the GMB and the sector, it's for you to work out with us how you best think this can be utilised. So absolutely trying to find a way of mitigating some of the challenges that come from high gas prices as a result of international issues. But also there are certain processes within the industry that could be electrified, but actually the cost of buying that new equipment is just too much. So the capital fund that's available will help with that transition.
Yep.
There's also heat recovery opportunities. There's new chemistry coming online for potentially looking at new ways of doing firing and sintering. So the money, and one of the things that companies tell me is they know there's technology they could be buying, but they simply can't afford it. So the whole purpose is that we give them the help to get the new technology, but we also then give them the help now to deal with the immediate cost that is the impediment to growth and survival.
And just picking up on your comments, and you've said this in Parliament, urgent action is needed. Will this support package be able to be implemented and help firms very soon? Yeah.
So the commitment that I've had, and the commitment that I think Ceramics UK have had is that we want to see the money basically flowing this summer. It's new money from the government. It's there. It just needs to be decided how you spend it. That's up to the sector to come forward with the ideas, and once that's agreed, the money will start flowing. And I think we need to see this basically through the door by September at the very latest.
Moving on, but again, in terms of just helping to support the industry, you've spoken about cheap imports that undercut UK producers, and you're sponsoring a private member's bill that's going through Parliament. It's known as the Backstamp Bill, which would require ceramics goods to bear an indication of the country of origin. Why is this necessary, and what's the aim of what you're trying to do?
So I think we all know if you go out anywhere and you see someone turning over their plate or their cup, looking at where it's made, they're probably from the local area. They're probably from Stoke. We all do it.
Yep.
My daughter did it once, but forgot to eat her dinner first and poured spaghetti bolognese over her lap. She was much younger than she is now, though, when she did that. So it was a funny mistake. But there are too many things that come into the UK that profess to be made in England when they're not. And I've got an example in my office of somewhere by Dunoon that has been made by China, and it's completely faked the backstamp. They called it a decoration. You've got goods that say England on them, where actually they're not made in England, but the company name is associated with England, so the consumer gets the wrong impression. And then you've got people that proudly put made in Stoke-on-Trent, made in England on it. And the reason the bill's important is twofold. One, it would require anything coming into the UK or being sold in the UK that isn't made in the UK to clearly state so. It means consumers can still buy it, but at least they're buying it knowing they're buying something that is a foreign import. And secondly, for our export market, people like Portmeirion tell me there is a genuine value on the made in England, made in Stoke-on-Trent backstamp. It's a premium product in the international markets, in Korea, in America, and in some of the sort of Australian countries. It really does add value to the product. So we want to make sure that when people are buying something that says made in England, they absolutely have the confidence that it's an English bespoke high quality product. Hopefully it's made in Stoke-on-Trent, but if not, certainly made in England.
Yeah. So finally on that, whereabouts in the process is that private members bill?
Oh, so because of the very silly way that Parliament works, we are at very early stages of this. I've sent the bill to the ministers to say, look, this is what I want to do. Do you think you could support it? Very, very, very helpfully, when the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, was in Staffordshire yesterday, she publicly supported the bill. So I'm hoping that might grease a few wheels to get movement on it.
Right.
So I'm hoping that we'll get second reading sometime before Christmas, and certainly if we are able to secure support for it across government, that this will be done and dusted in 12 months.
Thank you, Gareth.
Thank you very much.